Good morning, guys. My throat and voice sounds a little bit scratchy. I literally just woke up. Me and Michaela, let me show her. We just woke up. She just got out the shower. Before that, we did our little prayer. And yeah, I'm going to be taking you guys through our day because that is my best friend and my roommate. We are both living in Los Angeles. Yeah, we're going to take you through my day, show you how we keep the Sabbath day holy, especially now that, we're no longer kind of like living separately, but we're living with each other and with another individual. And so I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go wash this face and freshen up. Okay, guys, so hey, we are literally switching over to the voiceover portion of the video. Not this entire vlog won't be me just talking in front of the camera. So you're just really going to see my little day-to-day, and I'll be speaking over the microphone. So I'm actually just going to wash my hands here just for no particular reason. I just think it's really important to have clean hands before touching your face, especially if you do have sensitive skin. It can be important. And so I'm just washing my face, not necessarily with soap or any type of cleanser, only because my skin doesn't need it, but kind of waking myself up with lukewarm water. And I'm rubbing my eyes and making sure that I'm awake, and that my face is kind of cleansed, do a little cute pose. And I'm actually going to get my washcloth. And I know this is probably going to be controversial to skin gurus out there that, oh my gosh, that's so dirty, that it's filled with bacteria. Well, my skin is very fine and okay. So I'm just going to dab my face and dry it with my handy dandy washcloth. And that is honestly the cleansing portion of my entire skincare routine. Nothing extra, nothing crazy. But then again, genetics and diet and health have a lot to do with that. And so I don't scratch my face or rake my face dry with the washcloth, as you can see me fanning, because my face is still damp. And so just to kind of get it a little more dry without being too abrasive. And so I'm going to go in with my moisturizer, which is actually Jamaican black castor oil infused with chebe powder. And so, yes, this is definitely a hair staple, but you guys, for skin, I'm talking about literally can be a miracle oil if your skin takes well to castor oil. It reduces the appearance of dark spots, dark circles, just makes my eyebrow hair and my eyelashes look so much thicker. And I naturally have eyelashes that curl up at the end, and so I just noticed that it kind of accentuates that a lot more and just moisturizes so well and kind of acts like a barrier for my skin, kind of like a Vaseline. And so I'm just kind of brushing my eyebrows with my fingers to the side so they don't look too wild and crazy, and really working that castor oil in. Like I said, it's Jamaican black castor oil infused with chebe powder, and it's amazing. Then next I'm going to go in with my Kasha essential oil. I actually got this from the Book of Esther from the Bible. It's so funny. When she was in her year-long preparation period for the first 6 months, they treated her with oils, and Kasha and myrrh was one of them. And so the base oil that I used for Kasha, because that's an extract of cinnamon, I use olive oil. So that is literally liquid fire. It will burn your skin as if you were being burned with fire if you do it by itself. So you have to dilute it with the base. I don't, have anything fancy like tinctures. Just use my hands because gal is pretty simple in that regard over here. And so I just work that in my hands, put a little bit on my face to add some stimulation to my skin, which will make the little red cheeks and the red lips. And then I put the rest on my arms, my neck, and then just really work it into my hands and the lips again. And then my hair, because honestly, this oil and what I love about the skincare routine is it doesn't matter if it gets in on my hair, anywhere, you can use it for all of it. And so yeah, we are done with the skincare. Now on to brushing my teeth. And so this part, I would pray that you guys don't need a narration for me brushing my teeth. So we are going to cut scene, and you guys will see me brushing my teeth. Bye, love you guys. Okay, actually that was a trick. So I'm not going yet, only because I do think it's important to mention though that the toothpaste that I use specifically is Tom's fluoride-free toothpaste. It's just their classic peppermint essential oil flavored toothpaste. However, The main focus here is that I use a fluoride-free toothpaste. Fluoride-free. There are tons of brands out there that sell fluoride-free toothpaste now. Like you could use the brand Hello, like their activated black charcoal toothpaste, or their regular peppermint. And there's also the Tom's brand, like I use. There's different flavors. They even have one for kids. Highly, 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 highly 10 out of 10 recommend for you to switch over to a fluoride-free toothpaste, especially, if you're recently coming into that health kick and beginning to finally understand the importance of health and how certain chemicals and just things interact with our body negatively and positively. So yeah, guys. Okay guys, so we are in the kitchen about to cook. Michaela is literally whipping it up behind the camera right now to make sure that the shot is good. But we're just gonna show you guys, like what we do for breakfast, or like how we cook, what we make. Michaela's gonna make some avocado toast, and you guys are just gonna see kind of like the tonic that I like to make. It's really, really great for digestion, and honestly has cinched some inches off your girl's waist. Yeah, and so other than that, just come along and watch us. Guys, literally, okay, so me and Michaela are in here. We're looking for a sermon to watch as we get ready. Tell me why I'm on YouTube and look, my video pops up, and obviously that may not seem like anything big, but like what? What? I'm watching myself. How beautiful. Praise God, and let's enjoy the Sabbath and make it holy.
Are a means of expediting the process of God's promise. We don't like endurance. We don't like waiting. We don't like, but what if God is...
Okay, you guys, so back to the voiceover. My best friend Michaela. So we decided to have like a little girl shoot, only because, as you can see, we have matching robes. Now, this was not anything that was premeditated. This wasn't planned, and this wasn't even something that we were aware of. Literally, the Lord led me to bring my little kimono that my father got me one time when he was out on a training Air Force in Japan. And so he got me this kimono when I was a really little girl, but it still fits just enough to cover up the goodies. And so I whipped it out the other day, and she saw me with it on, and she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, but why do I have the exact same type of kimono? She's like, it's red, just like yours. And I was like, literally no way. And we were like, okay. We were like, we have to do like a little photo shoot and just spend time together and with the Lord, and just with each other, because we're both prophets of God. And not only that, but the Lord has brought us together so beautifully, and so spending time in the presence of those that God has ordained and placed in your life is also honoring and respecting the will of the Father. So we just decided, let's keep this Sabbath day holier than ever, and just feel so like it, just be so grateful, and like show it off. And so so we're in the same robe, and so she had an idea for my hair, 2 little kind of like princess twists at the top, or French braid twist type things, into a low bun. And so you're just gonna see a sped up version with some cuts here and there of her styling my hair, and then I will give you guys the finished product at the end, and you guys will definitely see the pictures on the gram and on my social media if you follow me. So go ahead and click that follow button. Also click that subscribe button if you want to for more beautiful content. But alrighty guys, I love you so much, but God loves you so much more. Let's speed this thing up. Okay guys, so we are on our way to the gym and the store. So you guys are gonna accompany us to
Expensive groceries.
Let me see. Let's see. Period.
Expensive groceries.
So on our way to the gym, we're going to head to Target. Are we going to Target first, or?
Yeah, let's go to Target.
Okay, so we're going to Target first, and then we're gonna go to the gym. I will stop talking now, and we'll see you guys there. Bye, love you. Can you scooch that, please? Thank you. Okay, you guys, so really quickly, I do just want to tell you and let you know that. So, thank you, Michaela. So, the Lord actually essentially called me to post this vlog titled Keeping the Sabbath Day Holy, as you've kind of come through us, or come with me, on this journey. Day-to-day life, how I spend my Sabbath and how I keep it holy. Things definitely are a bit different and new because I finally moved out of my parents' house, finally flew away from the nest, and I'm living with my friend, so we are paying rent and we are living here. This is our home now. And so just things have changed and shifted a little bit in that regard, but this is keeping the Sabbath day holy. And so essentially, this is the 4th commandment. So this video is based on the 4th commandment, and it is from Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And like I said, that's Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. And so just getting into what the Lord really means by remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy, he actually brought me and Michaela both to Mark chapter 2, starting from verse 23, which is the disciples picking wheat on the Sabbath. And if you guys are a little bit familiar with that story, that was really when the Pharisees and Sadducees then came to Jesus, and once again, so the first time was when Jesus Christ performed a miracle, and they got on him like, oh, well, you would do that on the Sabbath? You're supposed to keep it holy. Not God in the flesh. Healing a man. That's not holy, right? I mean, God knows. So starting from verse 23. Okay, so personally, we both love to read the KJV version only because the language and the verbiage is just so much stronger and better personally for us. It may be a bit more difficult to translate or for some individuals to understand, but
it's also directly translated. It's not translated through English and
right, or just someone else's interpretation of the
word. It's literally just a translation.
Exactly, and that's what we love about it. And so that language is a bit more difficult to understand, but we have God that literally opens our eyes and allows us to understand it. So that's why
I even needed him for every word. We also have Strong's Concordance.
Every single word. But so that's that. Okay, so we are starting with verse 23. So Mark chapter 2, verse 23, and it says, and it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began as they went to pluck the ears of corn. And as you know, when they say he went through the cornfields, that's Jesus Christ. And the Pharisees said unto him, behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? As in, the Pharisees are asking, why are your disciples doing something on the Sabbath day that isn't lawful?
Which is picking corn, which is working technically.
Right, because
They
that's
know harvesting.
right,
on the
because
Sabbath day.
right, because to harvest and they specifically say in the Bible to go out into the field because that was work. That was what work was considered in the Bible.
Legalism.
And so it says, and he said unto them, he being Jesus, have ye never read what David did when he had need and was an hungered, he and they that were with him? How he went into the house of God in the days of, girl, I'm going to butcher that name. Abiathar, okay, the high priest, and did eat the shewbread, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. Do you want to take over?
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. I love that
You
verse
definitely
because
said
it
that
came
the other day.
directly. Yeah, I did, huh?
You did.
It came directly from Jesus' mouth. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath, which means not only is he Lord of all the people, but he's also Lord of the Sabbath, and he can do what he chooses to do. He is holy, so he can only do what is holy on the Sabbath day.
Right, and so
everything
he's
he
like,
does holy.
and he even said, I'm about my Father's business, so everything you see me do, trust and believe my God in heaven is doing it too, or is calling me to do it. And so that's powerful. And so then,
and you know what this reminds me of is yeah, that's just when we go through the.
oh no, but I do also want to read that because that's also when he heals on the set. Yeah, we gonna have to read this whole thing. Okay, so then going into Mark chapter 3, and he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. This is the Pharisees and Sadducees checking to see if he's gonna heal a man because they'll accuse him from doing something evil for healing someone. Make that make sense. Anyways, and he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he saith unto them, it's a little high, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? This is what Jesus Christ himself is asking. I'm going to read that again. And he saith unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? But they held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And the Pharisees went forth, and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. But Jesus withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Judea.
You want to continue?
I think that hits. Yeah, I think that hits on the point. So basically, the Lord really called me to talk about keeping the Sabbath day holy and what that looks like from the lens of Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ came and literally was the embodiment of the Word, which is why we call him the living Word, because Jesus Christ is this Bible but living, alive. And so the Lord has really been talking to me a lot about Deuteronomy, when Moses brought the Israelites from out of their land of bondage, which was Egypt, into their promised land. So God, right, and so God, so he's been talking to all of his believers. So if you know, you know. And so God really brought to my attention, the importance of when you get to the promised land, because you'll get there, what's going to keep you there is standing on his instructions. And his instructions are the commandments that he gave to Moses on those tablets to give and speak to the people. And so God has placed on my heart the importance of commandment number 4, which can be found in Exodus chapter 20 verse 8, which talks about to honor the Sabbath and to keep it holy, because many of us now find difficulty in translating, okay, how do we keep the Sabbath day holy in modern days? Because we're not going out into fields, actually picking produce or harvesting, so what does that look like? And in order to know what anything looks like, we got to go back to our model, which is Jesus Christ. We are looking to him. And so essentially Jesus Christ basically said here, his disciples went out into the field and picked corn, And so the Pharisees and the Sadducees for the longest time were kind of just under this religious man-made law and constraint that, you can't do any of that. But Jesus Christ himself says here in verse 28 not verse 28, in verse 27, that the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. As in, we articulate what rest is for us. Would you say that, or what's your understanding of that?
My understanding of this verse specifically is that what did God do on the seventh day? He rested after what he had made was good.
Right.
You know, we have to not overwork ourselves. The Lord is trying to implement the importance of rest, the importance of just spending time with him, and the importance of making time for him once a week.
Right.
You know, at least once a week. People take that as, you know, they go to church on Sunday and they're like, oh, there was my Sabbath day. Now we're going to go eat whatever we want.
Right.
Now I'm about to go yell at my kids to finish their homework before Monday starts.
Right.
Now I'm about to do X, Y, Z, or even just finish up some work from the previous week. But there's just, he really wants that for his people.
Right.
He did not create a set of laws and stipulations he did not make us for the Sabbath.
Right, he made the Sabbath for us, as in after he created man, he was like, all right,
He made us to love him, or else the Sabbath would have been the first commandment.
Exactly, and essentially what the Holy Spirit just placed upon my spirit is that on the Sabbath day, so daily we are literally called to walk and work with God, but on that seventh day we rest with him. As in, you take a look at your week, and so it's really honestly like to personify the Spirit of God in holiness on the Sabbath. It's really our reset day. You know, so like I do see lots of vlogs on the channel, you know, like on YouTube talking about, oh, reset. So this is really our chance to reset and literally look back at what we created the previous week. Yeah. And so when you get yourself into the not only physical but spiritual like habit of consistently working for the set amount of days that we're supposed to for those 6 days, and then taking that pause and step to literally see all that you've created and see and know and understand and feel and hear that it is good, then that prepares you for the next assignment and for the next task. But when you're just living this fast-paced life, you don't allow God the chance or the time, you know, to really awaken your spirit or open your eyes.
And he gives us that set time out of love, you know.
Right.
He wants us to be able to reset. He knows how beneficial it is and how much our bodies need that rest. So that's why the Sabbath was made for us, made for his children. That doesn't mean that the Sabbath is meant to enclose us in a box and keep us from plucking corn out of the fields. And I loved how the Chosen show illustrated this, because as the disciples were just like running through the fields, Simon just, you know, he was just not even thinking about it being the Sabbath day, just started plucking corn out wheat out of hunger. And that was such a natural thing, you know. That wasn't sin. That wasn't sin for him to go out into the field as if he's like working, and like he was hungry. And that's why even Jesus defended him, talking about David and his hunger.
Right, and then he was hungry, but then he also proceeds to specifically say, and notice, every language and everything said and written in the Bible has purpose and intention. There's not a sentence or word written in here that's misplaced, nor that's just in there just to be in there. Everything means something. And so notice how it says, not only does it say that David took the bread and ate it, which was unlawful, but then it specifically says that which is not lawful to eat but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. As in, not only did he eat the bread, but he gave to those that were hungry. And that goes into Jesus Christ talking about, is it good to do good on the Sabbath days or bad? To heal on the Sabbath days or to kill?
Here's another piece. He says, not lawful to eat but for the priests. It's for the priests. Jesus is higher than the priest. He's higher than the pastors.
Period.
And whoever
he's Lord of the Sabbath day.
He's Lord of the Sabbath day.
Of the Sabbath day. So basically, that Jesus Christ saying, you know, follow in my footsteps. Since I'm Lord over this day, do as I'm doing. You know what I mean? And the Pharisees and Sadducees, the religious perception of the Sabbath is like, oh, don't go out into the field and labor, as in don't go out into the field and work. But that's exactly what Jesus Christ's disciples did. They went into the field and labored because they were hungry. But
he said, do you want them to be hungry and die on the Sabbath? Which is basically you, by having your rules on these people, is killing them?
Right.
Or do you want them to eat and be alive and be able to get to the next week?
Literally, which is why he says, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days or to do evil, to save life or to kill? And so essentially it's about honoring the life that God has given us and keeping it holy as in perform that miracle. The Sabbath day is the day anointed by Jesus Christ himself to heal, to make a blind man see, you know, to make a man with a shriveled hand have that whole hand again. Like that's the day to do it. And these things, that's keeping it holy. That's keeping it holy because you're contributing to life, which literally is in the entire ministry of Christ. It's the good news, which is why this is the gospel, because it's good news. And so, yeah, that's really what the Lord placed upon my spirit for the Sabbath day, you know. So don't get into, you know, like these toxic cycles or religious cycles. You know, we rebuke the spirit of religion, which is, you know, a lot of man-made constructs in an attempt to understand things that are just holier than us, as in an attempt to understand things that are just way beyond our understanding, and that were never meant for us to understand alone, but for us to give to the one who is literally the creator of them and who can understand it, to then extend that same understanding back to us. And so follow in the ways of Jesus Christ. Keep the Sabbath day holy by literally what he says. To look at this even deeper, we are to do good on the Sabbath days and save life. And that's what the Sabbath day is all about. That's how you honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. Do good on the Sabbath and literally save and honor the life that God has graced and blessed all of us with.
This isn't out of the mouth of a priest or a pastor. Like, this is directly from Jesus' mouth.
Right. I'm telling you guys, read it. And literally in any translation you want to read it in, Jesus Christ says this same stuff. His word doesn't change or switch. Mark chapter 2 and 3, verses 23 through 28 for chapter 2, and then verses 1 through 6 in chapter 3. And yeah, guys, so thank you so much for spending and sharing part of this Sabbath day with me and Mickey, and thank you so much for keeping this Sabbath day holy with me. You know, we are definitely women of virtue, and we're going to stand on those 10 commandments, especially in our promised land. So thank you so much for keeping the 4th commandment with me. This has been Simply Sweet and Miss Mickey, and we will catch you guys in the next video.